With this true blue salute, I'm Karla Whittington, and joining us is the Vice President of the SEM FFA chapter, Preston Beattie. How are you doing today, Preston?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We've been talking a lot about FFA with February celebrating and highlighting the FFA organization. So, in spirit of that, share a little bit more about what different contests you were involved in so far this year.
So far this year at District LDEs, back in early December, I competed in employment skills, which is a contest where you sit in on an interview and apply for whatever job you want, and you get to choose your topic for that contest. And I enjoyed it a lot. I learned a lot about a lot of interview skills that I'm going to need later on in life, whether I'm applying for jobs or scholarships, or I'm just doing everyday interviews. And then coming up next Wednesday, I'm competing in ag sales and farm business management. Ag sales is another great contest for communication skills. You get to go talk to people, and you just got to learn a lot about what you're selling. But once you do that, it's mostly just your communication and how well you can talk to other people and convince them to buy your product. And that's just another great contest for communication. And then I'm also doing farm business management, which is just a lot of business math and stuff like that. And it's a great contest, especially for my future. I want to be an ag econ major and learn about operating a farm and ranch business one day. So it's all great for me and learning a lot of skills.
That all sounds very exciting. I kind of want to turn back towards that ag sales contest because that sounds very interesting. And selling a product, do you know what that product is that you're going to try and sell to the judges? Or is that something that they give you a product and then on the spot you have to sell it to them?
So yes, ma'am. We do know our product. They come out with them at the beginning of the year. So we've been studying those for a while. We're selling Cummins generators. So we have small portable generators, a little bit bigger ones, and then a standalone generator that you can put outside a house. And they give you three products, and then the judges get a scenario. So there's two scenarios. One, I believe, is a person who owns their own small slaughterhouse where they, just slaughter beef, and I think they just slaughter beef, and then the other one is a welder who needs a generator just for welding on the job, on the go for the back of his welding rig or whatever it is. So we go in there, not knowing which scenario, but we know it's one of those two scenarios. And those scenarios change from districts to states. So at districts, we know what two scenarios. And then after districts, if we end up qualifying for state, we'll get two different ones. But we go in there, and when we talk to them, they introduce themselves, then we know which scenario it is, and we have to study that so we understand what they're doing and what they need their generator for. And then between our three generators that we have listed, because we're pretending that we're through a Nebraska Power and generators, so we have three generators, and we have to help them decide which one's best suit for them and close the sale. That's our job.
And so, how many FFA members are in one of these sales teams?
There's four of us. So each of us go into the room with one judge, and we make our sale by ourselves. It's we're selling to the judges, and then there's another part of the contest where we do basically a team sales meeting. So we're in front of other judges. We come together, all four of us as a team, and we create a plan on how we're going to sell the product, how we're going to create rapport with our customers, and what we can do to close the sale, what we can do to answer questions that they have about our company or our generators or whatever it is. If they have maintenance, questions about maintenance in the future, or they're on the edge about some stuff, we come together and create a plan, and the judges judge us based off, how we work together as a team. And there's also a written test in that contest.
That sounds really fun. It kind of reminds me of like Shark Tank, the TV show.
Yes, it is. It is very awesome. And the best thing that we can do is just know our generators back to front, outside in and inside out. It's just, everything about it. They give us the brochure we create our own brochure of our generators that we can have with us, kind of the specs and everything about them. And they list all the good stuff that they have. But, there's a lot more research we can do on these specific generators, like on the Cummins website, and go watch videos and stuff, just so we know our product so well, because we are selling it. So we want our customer to know that we're knowledgeable of our product, and we want to help them believe that it is the best product on the market.
And kind of going a little bit away from the contest side of things, there's also a project kind of contest, the SAE, the Supervised Agricultural Experience, that you've been working on I feel like a lot of FFA members start when they start FFA, that's when this project kind of starts. And right
Hmm.
now, you're a senior kind of towards the finish line of that SAE project that you've been working on throughout the years. Share a little bit more about your project and where you're at right now.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, since I was in seventh grade, I've been working on my SAE. It's a 100% placement SAE, so it's the hours and the experience that I've learned working on my family farm, whether it's working cattle, branding calves, running pigs in and out of hog buildings, doing health procedures on pigs, whatever it is in the pig buildings that we operate in, growing corn and soybeans, irrigating, planting, harvesting, any aspect of my family ranch. That's my SAE. And then last year, I started a new one where I rented 60 acres of gravity irrigated ground with my dad. So we split it 50-50. And the last 2 years I have grown corn, and then I plan to grow soybeans next year. And that's also been a great startup for me. It was kind of a surprise thing. I didn't know if I wanted to do it, but my older brother did something like that. And so I was like, this is awesome experience for me to learn, more about crop production industry. And I learned more from than just learning how to operate the planter and applying fertilizer at the correct rate and how to apply chemicals and how to irrigate properly and use time management. I love learning the hands-on stuff, but I also learned a lot in the office with my dad, sitting down and taking financial records and, looking at our records from the past year and say, hey, what can we do different to maximize our profits for the next year? And I learned a lot about grain storage and, taking risks, whether I want to sell my corn now on cash market or I want to sell it in the futures. Because there's a lot of different things that go into that, and I learned a lot about that, and that's what I want to do when I'm older. I want to, be an entrepreneur. I want to be the person who makes my own decisions on my own business, and so that was very important to me, and I learned a lot from my dad and other mentors. So that one was really really special. And then again, I have that other essay, that placement one, and it's just great to learn more and more every single year on my family farm. I wasn't just, farm hand help. I really put in the hard work and time to, this year I learned this, but the next year I stepped up to the next level and got to learn so and so. So both my essays have been really awesome experiences for me.
And kind of tying together the skills that you're learning in these different contests and then also that SAE project, what are your plans for next year after you graduate high school? This year, what is next year looking like in your future?
Yeah. So upon graduating from SEM in May, I plan to attend the University of Nebraska Lincoln and get a degree in agriculture economics or ag business. I'm kind of on the fence, but I'm leaning more toward agriculture economics. And yeah, so that's my plan for next August. Attend the University of Nebraska. I think it's gonna be an awesome experience for me and my sister. Both of my sisters attended UNL, and my father attended UNL as an ag business major, and so that's really where I feel at home. I visited there a couple times, and I'm just really excited for that experience.
That sounds really exciting. And you can always get one of them in a minor, so you can
Hmm.
work on both
Absolutely.
of them. So that's
Hmm.
really fun. Thank you so much for taking time to share a little bit more about your experience with the FFA program. Again, this True Blue Salute was with Preston Beattie, the Vice President of the SEM FFA chapter, here on the Rural Radio Network.